that's where I'm afraid to see how much he makes and what they're doing. And with the restraining order or order protection, and on the document that I showed, that they put one child on the molestation case, that's where my questions are worried about who can I trust in the system, though.
From what I see, you can't trust nobody, like, whatsoever.
I can't.
And
it took by prayer and faith just to pray to find you when I had to go to the courthouse. And then I bumped into you and said, I needed someone that does this. And you said, I know someone. And I said, I need a videographer. And then you said you knew someone.
So what has it been like right now for you? It's, like what, like, can you tell us about the details of, like, how has it been trying to, like, contact loved ones? Has it been hard? Have you been able to, like, work? Like, what has life been like for you now, trying to fight this fight for your kids?
It's been horrible. It's been horrible. It is not a life as I drove today with you, and as the police, as I said, they're following me because I know that to be true. And right when we leave, they come right out the gate, that not a gate that's automatic, by the way. And as they go, they're following us right behind. It's not a life to be being followed or chased around because you have the original copies and they don't submit it to the courthouse.
And I couldn't even call you today or at all. Like, I couldn't even.
I had to use a third party and someone who believed in my story among everybody else that signed a petition that says they want their kids out and want me safe. It's not right that I'm not part of their corporate charter. The corporate charter is the White House. I'm not part of their business. You know, you have to have an active business license, which is the business around. They have to go to the White House. And to know that I have so many things for so many individuals at the businesses because I'm liability to expose them, that's a hard thing. Because I don't have anybody that will make sure my kids are safe because I'm exposing what they do. And that's not a life to live that way. I think that people should have a voice and stand up for courage. I think they should stand up for what's right. But I think people have forgotten that because they're scared at the time. And if there's anything I can do with whatever time I have left is to make sure others outside, but most importantly my kids, they know that I never gave up on them. I always stayed, even outside, meeting U.S. Marshals that were retired, or I'm not going to say the name, I have the card, but going to a human trafficker and saying we only do adults, and knowing that they've already compromised because they're nonprofit, but you know, they're what I'm exposing that way. Or to talk to another person, I'm not going to say his name, but he was trying to find counsel outside. And when I did, he was reaching out for shelters. Not that I have a place to live, and I'm not speaking like that, but he was trying to find me as a domestic violence of abuse to find representation. And they said, was this person, they said, is this person seeking outside help? And he looks at me and I just smile and I shook my head. I said, they already know. First of all, when you trying to find a place to stay in a domestic violence shelter or a victim, you don't ask, are they going to seek elsewhere outside of that area? That in itself, I already knew. So when he talked to his executive assistant, he talked to them and said, I called all the shelters and they said they're full. She said, I just got off with them. They're not full. So when you know they're following you because of your phones or wherever you go because you're trying to expose, it's hard because you don't get the help that you need because you are trying to make sure everybody is set free, especially your kids. It's not a life that I wish for anybody to live. And yes, it sounds insane, trust me, but I have all the evidence of the people, the U.S. Marshal and all these people that came upon my path. The biggest one that I kept getting over and over, not just about the facts, is that they played a plot and they made sure to shut me up for the 6 hours and break HIPAA laws and forge signatures and released it to his 309 Squadron. That in itself, because of the mental health and all that stuff, they didn't want the stuff to be shined. And so now I was a victim and now my kids are victims and there's nothing I can do but to share my story of this light.
And is there like a message that you would like to leave for your kids, like in case that they at all see it or get the chance to like witness it one day? Is there anything you would like to tell your kids?
That their story matters, that no matter what, through the hard things that they have gone through, that to never give up. That in the end, the hardest thing to do is to stand up for faith and to continue to be you. That no matter where they go and no matter where they are, that their mom has always stood up especially with Mother's Day being tomorrow. Sorry that I batted hard. And I'll always bat hard for my kids and for those, because those, if you're a good person, you wouldn't ignore this stuff. And I don't ignore problems, especially things that have been wronged. I will always find a way to help somebody, not to ignore them at all. So I think that's the one thing I could say, is just to remain faithful and true, and to stand up for love and light, as God or whoever, energy, whatever you want to believe, to provide in that way. And that's all I'd have to say.
That was heavy, and thank you for being brave, coming here, sharing this with us. Is there anything else you think? I guess at this moment, folks, those of you watching the show, you might want to know, is there like a call to action, or is there something that you can do? And really the purpose we discussed before this was to bring attention to the situation itself. So word of mouth, tell a neighbor, tell a friend, anyone that is in the situation, something similar to it, share this episode with them. Let them know they're not alone. If you are a person of power that has influence politically, socially, economically, and you can move the needle in these situations, reach out and see how you can assist.
Definitely don't ignore it. Like Fleek said, if you are somebody out there with a platform to say something, if you are somebody out there in a position, whether you're a lawyer, you're a congressman, you're somebody in a political space in Arizona, like, step up, do something, say something. Child trafficking is not okay. We all have siblings. We all have children. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, there's nothing wrong with stepping up, speaking up, sharing this, and bringing awareness, because this type of ish is messed up. It's like inhumane, and I'm sure we would all hate for our siblings or kids or anyone we know, period, to be in a situation like this. So.
All right. Did you have anything else? Okay.
Hopefully I'll live through it with my cancer before. That's all I want for Mother's Day, is to see my kids. I know I don't have much time left. I have audios of me. I already have my will drafted up from the cancer and the malpractice going on. I know my finances are being tampered with. I mean, they already have audios. I didn't show you that, but it's very hard when they're messing with my numbers and you have documentation that is unavailable. They're messing with your finances, where it's hard to provide when you do work, and they're changing stuff because it's in the corporation at the time. I don't care about money or anything like that. I just want to live as long as possible just to see my kids. But it's hard when you go around, and because the government is run, in a chain, and the FDA, which is the Federal, Food, Department Association, Drug Administration, excuse me. Yes. That's where you have friends that I've talked to today that they would testify, as they've been in the hospital, that they ignored me, or the audios I didn't show, but I had, I had a referral for a specific disease, but they didn't treat me. They turned me away very quickly, along with my baby. And that's where my fear is that I just want, before I go, I just want to see my kids. That's my worst fear, is going, them not knowing that I didn't fight. So that's why I fasted.